There's a pretty interesting phenomenon happening in Australia at the moment. Families are willing to pay $70,000, even $80,000 for a used SUV with hundreds of thousands of kilometres on the clock just because they're after something that's practical, capable and reliable. So with that in mind, today, rather than driving a used Prado, for example, I'm in a car that asks a pretty interesting question. Why drive a used SUV when you could be driving a brand new Mahindra Scorpio? Especially when an SUV like this costs in the mid $40,000 range, depending on the variant. So today we're heading out of Sydney, down south towards the Royal National Park to see whether the Mahindra Scorpio really does make sense as the smarter new family SUV. Honestly, first impressions are strong. The first thing that strikes me is that this feels like a proper SUV, if you know what I mean. You sit nice and high, visibility is excellent, and there's a really reassuring solidity to it. The Mahindra Scorpio is 5 meters long and 2 meters wide. So you get that really commanding presence on the road that, to be honest, Aussies seem to love about an SUV. Inside, there's heaps of space, heaps of storage spots and lots of USB ports as well, so there's no arguing over who gets to charge their phone. And then of course there's all of these other little details that families just really appreciate, talking from experience. You've got wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and you've got air conditioning that has actual buttons. How helpful is that? But that's enough gas bagging from me. Let's put the Mahindra Scorpio to the test and see how it drives. Whether you've got kids, dogs, golf bags, surfboards, you name it, or you just have a busy family life like most parents do, the truth is you don't really need a hardcore off-roader. What you need instead is just a really reliable, affordable family car. Enter the Mahindra Scorpio. There's heaps of room in the back there, and because this is a proper body-on-frame SUV, you've also got all of that lovely big cargo space, similar to that you'd get in a Prado or an Everest, for example. And unlike some other medium SUVs that claim to be 7-seaters, the rear rows in this car, they're actually useful. There's plenty of glass, there is lots of headspace, and also enough flexibility in this car to really configure for everyday life. With the Mahindra Scorpio, you're getting it brand new with a warranty, and you know exactly how this car has been treated from day dot. I think that's a pretty compelling argument. And for some people, Mahindra might be an entirely new name, but believe me, this is not just a startup company. Mahindra have been building vehicles since 1949. So, whilst you may not be familiar with the name, believe me, there's a lot more history and scale to this car than you might have realized. Now, if you know the term ladder frame SUV, then you might think that this car drives a bit truck-like and unwieldy, but actually that could not be further from the truth. The Mahindra Scorpio is a really nice drive. Under the bonnet, you've got a 2.2-litre, 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine that produces 129 kilowatts and 400 Newton meters, paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. There's heaps of torque down low, so it feels really comfortable on the highways, but it also feels perfectly at ease carrying lots of passengers and luggage. What really impresses me about this car is just how simple it is to drive. Steering is really light, visibility is excellent, and because you're sitting nice and high, it makes long distance driving really comfortable, and that is a really important conversation. Because cars like these, they're not just designed for the daily commute, the school run. These are the cars that we are also taking on interstate road trips during the school holidays to see family members we haven't seen in years. These SUVs are designed for years and years of family life and for durability. And that's why reliability is such an important conversation in this segment. Talking about other things that impress me, I have to talk about the fuel economy. Mahindra promises a 7.2 litre per 100 kilometre fuel usage, and that is really impressive in a diesel car like this. In fact, there are some Mahindra cars in Australia that have clocked up over 1 million kilometres, which sounds absolutely insane. But when you think about the fact that Mahindra is also the largest producer of tractors in the world, well, then it starts to make sense. Durability is obviously part of this company's DNA. Now, realistically, most Australian families aren't tackling hardcore four-wheel driving tracks every weekend, but it is good to know that this car has the capability to tackle those if the road happens to change. And I think that's probably the sweet spot for this car. It's the regional family holidays, the camping trips away, wet weather, dirt roads, the kind of conditions that Australian families encounter every single day. Case in point, you've also got proper SUV hardware underneath. So you've got rear-wheel drive architecture, selectable four-wheel drive, and enough ground clearance so that you're not stressing out if the road underneath you happens to change like it has for me. I think what's really surprised me about the Mahindra Scorpio is that it's just so honest about who it is. It's not a luxury SUV, nor is it a really hardcore off-roader. Instead, it's just a really genuinely capable family SUV. It's really, really good at a little bit of everything, and I love that. For the price of a large used SUV with umpteen kilometres on the clock and outdated interiors and an unknown history, you could instead be driving home in a brand new Mahindra Scorpio with all of the modern tech, with powerful diesel torque and Mahindra's 7-year warranty. So when you combine that with Mahindra's history of creating these really hardy vehicles, and when you think about how many Scorpios there are on the road globally, well then that proposition of why buy used when you could buy new, that becomes really, really hard to ignore.